There it is.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the World Forge. My name is Chris. I am one of your hosts. I am the host of the KS10 podcast and co-host of the World Forge.
And I'm Eric, the other half of the World Forge and the showrunner for the Hebridean Tales. And soon to be, we're still in casting, but soon to be somebody's heroes too. So,
ooh, I'm excited for that.
Ooh.
I'm pretty excited.
Oh, I am too, dude. The cast is shaping up gorgeously so far.
I know. I've seen it. I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be a fun lineup.
It's gonna be a great lineup. I'm super excited. All right, so where the fuck do we start? We start with who are we hashtag not sponsored by. That's where we start with this show every single week. We are once again hashtag not sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Well,
the delicious ambrosia of the heavens and hillbillies alike. Go get yourself a 6-pack today for way too much fucking money.
Yeah, they're so overpriced. So overpriced.
So overpriced.
For me today, off of last week's stream, I was talking about Timmy's way too much, and it just made me jive for some Joe. So I am hashtag not sponsored. Definitely not sponsored by Timmy. Wait.
I was like, is that actually their logo, the wiggly stripes?
Timmy.
There's their logo.
There's the Tim Hortons. And
Timber.
no, it's not a double. It's a 2 milk. And that's it, because that's how I take my coffee.
Black with a couple of milk.
That's right. I like it a little creamy. Well, a little milky, not creamy. I don't like cream in my coffee. That's just gross. Starts to curdle. Ugh.
Also depends on the brand of coffee too, so that
yeah, this is true. Now, typically I would, if I'm drinking home coffee, I like to drink a brand called Muskoka Brew. It's from a brewery out in Ontario from Muskoka, and it's so good. If you can ever get your hands on it, so good. I highly doubt it because it's like very central to Ontario, but
yeah, I want to get my hands on some of the what's that freaking? I want to say it's the Homebrew Coffee Co.
Oh, the D&D coffee guys.
The D&D coffee chicks down in North Carolina.
The two girls that do it. Yeah, I've been wanting to pick up some of their coffee just for the sake of, like, you know, but it is so expensive to ship things to Canada.
It is.
It's so gross.
And I'm sorry for that, because that's a you problem.
I know it's a me problem. Even me shipping to you guys would be a me problem too, because it's just as expensive.
It's just as expensive.
And literally, you're part, like, our land is connected.
Yeah.
It's just border fees.
We're the only border you have.
Yeah, realistically, and like I'm right on the border. We're right there.
Well, then just get yourself an American P.O. box and check it every week. God.
I mean, I could, but again, money.
That is true. Those things do cost money. And American money is expensive.
Yeah, you know what? How about just one day we both meet up at the border and I throw things to you over the border?
That's a long-ass drive for me.
I mean, probably cheaper, though.
Anyway, it'll probably be fucking cheaper than half this
cheap here. And I get to meet you, so it feels like a bonus. Right? I mean, I'd meet you over the border if we don't get, like, arrested for trying to throw things over the border.
We would absolutely
900%. So
we are not condoning throwing things across the border randomly, like cookies. Or Timmy's.
Or coffee.
Or just go somewhere else that has
realistically,
Timmy's.
I would tell you to bring me dice, because there are some amazing dice makers down in the States, and some of them are just gorgeous sets.
Some of them won't ship out of the country.
Yeah, no,
because the shipping price is being too expensive.
I know. There's the one company, Cult Dice. I want to get a set of their dice so bad.
Oh, I've actually worked with Cult Dice. They are fantastic people.
I know. I've chatted to them. We've talked about trying to figure a way of getting sent out to me, but just it's too much. It's too much.
Sounds like you need to go to Gen Con, and they need to come to Gen Con and just trade dice. That's the best way for you international people to get your stuff.
I'm not even international.
You are too. You are not this nation.
I mean, I'm North America.
You're not intercontinental. You are international.
Well, stepping outside of
let's go to interplanar
let's go
instead
to interplanar. Let's go back to our cosmos. Fucking hell. What are words? Words don't exist in my face.
Fuck words.
But speaking of words, this is my new favorite my new favorite shirt.
I do like that shirt.
Right.
I saw that.
The wife made it for me.
I saw that. Now, big real question is did she put the Chaos Den Podcast's logo on the back of your shirt? See? There you go. You have the best wife ever. There you go. Done.
I certainly do.
If she's gonna print you shit, it may as well be all your shit.
It's all my shit. Fantastic. So let's jump into a little bit of world building, because that's what we're here for. We're here for world building. Cosmo building. It is,
and we don't want to disappoint the two people in chat, which are one is us.
I think one of them's me, because I like to watch me.
Right.
I don't know why. It's fun.
You know, it is what it is. So, here, let me hop on my other one.
The last time that we were chatting, we were discussing the tower, the different factions of the tower and whatnot, and we were working on the fourth layer, the fourth level of the tower, which I believe we decided was going to be the Great Enna Factory.
Yeah.
Or, the level of, what was it? Peace and prosperity? Order?
Order.
I think it was order. Yeah.
Pure, unadulterated order.
With automaton, not automatons. We were using what was it? Modrons.
But those are still automatons.
Still automatons, but they're modrons. They're their own thing.
But yeah, so that's where we were, and I think when I was playing around with the map, I called it Mechan. Yeah, when I was playing around with the map, I called it Mechan. I just took Mechanus and took the US off. But I don't know that I like that name, but I don't know that I hate it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I don't not like it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, right. That's where I'm at too. It's like I don't love it.
Yeah.
But I don't
see.
But I think we can be clever. Now, I do see some people in chat, so if you guys have any opinions on the name of the plane of order, we would love to hear them. It's very much like Mechanus in 5th edition lore, but
they're different.
Chris is over here Googling something, so we'll have something here soon.
I'm going to see what I can pop up. I just typed in synonyms for automation, and just to kind of see what pops up. And so far, nothing that I like.
Yeah, right?
No. Yeah, no, nothing that I like so far.
Okay.
But we'll keep working on that. We'll put it in the shop for later.
Yep. And we were using the
Greek, I believe, is
the Greek.
The Greek lettering.
So check out what the Greek word for order is.
What about the Greek word for machine?
That would work too.
Nope. Greek word for machine is machina. Exactly. Exactly what it's, instead of MECIN, it's MICAN.
Let's do Machina.
It
brings a whole new meaning to Deus Ex Machina.
It does. It does. I'm not against that. Sure.
I'll put it down as one of the ideas.
Yeah, because machina is the Latin word for machine.
Spell it for me. MACHENA.
MICANI.
MIC.
Or if you want the Greek lettering for it, it's UNXAVN.
No, not that one.
No, you don't like that one.
MICHINA.
ANI.
ANI.
Coffee.
MICHANI.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna put the pronunciation in there for us to remember, because we would not.
No, I wouldn't be able, looking at that, I would not know how to pronounce that properly.
Correct.
I'd be messing it up every time I look at it.
Mishina for the pronunciation section. For those of you watching me typing in chat, we are not worried about proper phoneticism. We are just
we're building. We're building.
Don't send us hate mail for our phoneticisms. We are not worried about those.
If you want to send us hate mail for anything, go for it. We'll appreciate any mail you want to send us.
That's true. We might send you a thank you note.
We will. You know what? If you send us mail, hate mail, love mail, despise mail, we don't care. We'll send you a thank you letter just for appreciating us. And whichever way you decide to appreciate us.
Right. We love appreciation. So that's where we were.
I think that kind of hashes out the...
I think that was the last bit we needed for the tower, really, was the name.
It really was. The only other question that I had was, so we know that in order for the Modrons to be serviced or to be requested for use in other planes, you have to essentially come to the tower, go to the tavern, from the tavern request access to Mishina, and then from there there would have to be someone that you'd talk to in order to order Modrons for your plane, in order to aid in peace or order. Because that's the idea, right? Is that they are here and you can order them to come to your plane in order to kind of stabilize a scenario.
Yes.
So we would essentially need to make the receptionist for this location, unless we want to say that it's the Primus, it's Theka. So you would come in, you would speak to Theka, Theka would listen to your request, and if he deems it worthy, send you...
You would talk to the Theka of the plane.
Or would you be talking to the Thekan Council?
Technically, I think you'd talk to the council.
Yeah, you'd have to come in, you'd have to plead your case to the council. If the council deems it worthy, then they would associate your plane with however many Modrons they feel is adequate.
Correct. For the task at hand.
Precisely. So let's say, for example, if someone from the elemental plane of fire comes through and goes, hey, we have an uprising in the elemental plane of fire. It's starting to cause bleed over into unity. We need something to come in and quell this down and aid us in stopping this uprising. Then the council would deem it worthy and they would send you, say, probably a handful of squadrons of the Tessera, the quadrants of them. Yeah,
they could do that. They could send however many of whatever, and then you would get their minions down the chain as well.
So I guess the real question I have is, what would be the hello DJ Shades? What would be the value? Like, we'd have to value-wise each section of Modrons, because you just don't get them for free. You'd have to pay something in order to get them.
Yes, and I think that would be on a
material basis,
on a bit by bit moment. Like, what is your problem? I will set the price to help your problem.
Yeah. So I like the idea of the price.
The price would be raw material.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking as well.
Because I need to rebuild whatever gets destroyed.
Whatever I send you.
I need to be capable of rebuilding whatever I send you, because I'm not expecting any of these back.
Exactly. Which is why it makes sense that it wouldn't be so much... I need a new lab to set the price to help our problem.
$750 plus shipping to somebody's house.
And that's American.
Yes, because I'm the American talking. We're talking American dollars.
Yeah, you're better off asking me, Shades.
Yeah, a beer and a couple hours of labor.
I mean,
beard pizza.
Realistically,
I mean,
so I guess we'd be able to word it in such a way that it would just be material worth the value of the Modrons being sent out. So each Modron, let's say like your base Modron would be worth 50 gold.
No, it'd be worth 50 pounds of copper or whatever.
Okay, so
like the raw material. You have to pay in raw material of whatever it takes to create that unit.
Well, yes, but I would also argue the fact that you could pay the weight in gold for the raw material as well. No?
Therefore, it would be theoretically purchasable, but who's going to go purchase it? No one can. Where are they going to actually buy it from?
Well, at that point in time, then the Modrons would be able to use that gold in, I would say, the stock exchange, like the Cosmicon, to purchase within Cosmicon. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. They could do that.
So here's fifth layer. Stock exchange. There would essentially be a universal stock exchange.
Evil? Universal evil?
Well, essentially.
I figured the stock exchange would be the devil's territory.
It would be, but he's more so dealing in souls, not so much dealing in material. So you would have to have an area that would be a material exchange.
Here we are talking exchange rates about the dollar to dollar ratios, and we're talking souls to golds to coppers to...
Well, we do have it so that in order to get into Cosmicon, it is 150 souls or 150,000 gold.
One soul is 1,000 gold. We've already determined that exchange rate.
Yeah. We should probably write that down somewhere.
Platinum, something needs to be more expensive than platinum, and I think a soul is more expensive than platinum.
I definitely think a soul should be worth more than a platinum. But that makes it funny too, because think of it this way. Let's just say that a soul goes down to hell and the overlords take the soul. If you were to come down into hell trying to buy a soul back, we have now put a value on a soul.
Yes.
So you could, in theory, that DJ Sage says that that's pretty cheap for a soul. And he's not wrong, actually. The caliber of a soul should mean something is worth more money.
So here's the thing. If you've made a deal for your soul has a different price on it because the price is whatever your deal is worth.
Your contract is worth.
Yes. Yeah. So if you make a deal with a devil to harvest 1,000 souls for him,
you're now worth 1,000 souls. You
are now worth 1,000 souls because you have to collect 1,000 before you're free and clear with your own soul. So your soul's worth 1,000. Meaning, it's not a BOGO. It's not a BOGO.
It's not a BOGO.
This is not a BOGO. That means that his soul would be worth 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold per soul. 1,000 times 1,000, he's worth 1,000,000.
Yeah, that's a great terminology for that. Because most souls who do make it down into the hells or the abyss, they would have made a contract in order to get down there.
Correct.
So they would be worth more than just a simple soul. Now, a soul on the Grey Waste, you could probably buy. It's a one for one. Yeah, you could buy that for 1,000, easy.
But clerics and other things like that, they gave their souls to gods. The god would set the price.
Yeah.
He would set the price of whatever he's willing to part with your soul for.
Whatever you're valued at.
And that's based on his, her, or their whim at that exact moment.
I agree with you. Shades come back and says, I mean, it's discounted by making the deal to sell your soul. But if you pull a Jack Sparrow and sell others to them, making a value system based upon that. So that's kind of true, but it really all depends on the value of what you did in your life and what they value you as in the future. But
Correct.
getting away from the value of a soul and how much a soul costs, we can kind of rummage around there forever if we really wanted to. So let's.
Yeah.
So
that's a circle jerk and a half right there.
It certainly is. So do we want to have essentially a stock exchange on the fifth level? Or do we want to kind of leave that be and possibly have that as like a side thingy in Cosmicon?
Just kind of leave it for the con floor.
Okay.
I think that's fine because that's already your chaos and discord.
This is true.
And with as volatile as the stock market is in general, it would be very
hectic.
But yeah, very hectic and shit. So I think just leave it as is.
And it would make sense that in Cosmicon you would have booths, not just trading information, but trading material and objects. So you could go in there as an entity
and buy a set of dice.
Buy a set of dice, or buy a couple souls, or buy information.
Or a set of dice for a soul. I mean, you know.
You could even buy a soul to put in a set of dice.
Oh my god, a soul. Could you imagine a soul inclusion in a set of dice?
I mean, I am now going to be making a magical item.
Right? The dice of souls?
The dice of souls, and essentially
rolling at 20, and it fucking absorbs your soul. And releases the soul that's in it.
That would be
and releases the soul that's in it.
One. So a nat 1 releases the soul in it and absorbs yours, and you swap bodies. If you roll a natural 20, it just does something crazy powerful. It gives you like a boon or something like that.
Are these the fucking Ginyu dice?
I mean, it could be.
They're the fucking Captain Ginyu dice.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. Like,
all right, so we're gonna have an entire other episode on magical items.
And the Ginyu dice, the power of the Ginyu dice.
The power of the Ginyu dice will be object number 1.
Oh, Jesus.
So with our tower, are we happy with 4 levels?
I kind of am.
I'm kind of okay with it for now. If we decide there's something in the future that we want to add to it, we could very easily just be like, oh, there's level 5, level 6, level 7, whatever the fuck. It's kind of in the same way as the planes, right? Like it's an infinite tower that can be added onto at DM's discretion.
True.
So let's hash it there. Yeah, let's hash it there and see what else we'd want to dive into.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
I mean,
pool.
Right now, I would love to dive into a pool. Find me one.
Yeah. And install it. Don't forget installation fees.
Yeah, you gotta.
Don't just buy a pool and drop it off with that tractor trailer, bro.
No,
he needs it installed too.
And I don't want one of those cheap blow up ones either.
Right.
I want that nice in ground.
I was gonna say that nice get him a kiddie pool for $5. Dig a hole, put it in the ground, and you're good to go. You've sufficed what he said. In-ground pool.
You're not wrong. That would be. Oh, that's the Fae. That's the Fae fucking you over.
So onward to the Fae, I heard.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's jump over to the Fae. We haven't touched the Fae, and I don't think we've touched the Shadow Realm either.
We have not. Fae first, because Fae is the oldest, I think.
Fae? Yeah. So
I want to say Fae is going to be the oldest.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of the Fae here. We've got lunar access points, lesser power based on the amount of deals, pyramid scheme. Main gate is on the moon with the highest magic concentration. Closes when the moon leaves the magical... I can't pronounce that word. Asseration?
Accretion.
Accretion. Provided the spark of life, and is one of the few realms that one of the few planes that is attached to another realm, to other realms. So
Yes.
I think that's
Because,
why,
like I said, it's
yeah, I think that's why we didn't touch the Fae all that much, because we were essentially going to leave the Fae in your typical Fae sense. Like the Fae was going to be the Fae as it is in other realms.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we want to like tinker. So, okay, here's an idea. The Fae is going to be the Fae, realm wide. Depending on, no matter what realm you're coming from, you're going to be coming into the same Fae. And that's kind of the connecting point between our world and the other world, is if you jump from, say, Faerun or Toril into the Fae, and then from the Fae into Unity, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think what would be a fun way of doing that would be to have our own area in the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
So where our plane links, like where Unity links to the Fae, kind of build that area like its own little city. Like, how you have the Sealy Court and whatnot. It would be fun to kind of have our own pocket of the Fae.
Okay.
Now, a lot of what we've been doing in this world has been mildly dragon-based, and there are Fae-style dragons that we could have almost controlling the Fae gate into Unity on the Fae side.
Yeah.
If we so choose. So I think it would be... I think our starting point would be to start with almost like a city structure.
Mm-hmm.
That's based around the gate that's linked to one of the moons. And I feel like we named the moons.
No, I don't think we had named them. Strolus was the only one we did. We named one moon.
We named one moon. Was there a reason that we named it that?
Yeah, Strolus was the name of the first guy who left, who used the Abyssal Gate.
That's right. Okay.
So, Strolus is the moon with the Abyssal Gate.
That's with the Abyssal Gate. So let's start with naming our moon. So essentially it would be, because this is the most magical of the moons from what we've decided.
Yes. So it is magical. I think it was 98% of the time. Yeah. So it was going to be like magical like 98% of the time.
Yeah. Ooh, I actually like that name. Aruna. It's Japanese for moon love.
Spell it.
Aruna.
Oh, Arna. That makes sense.
Let's see here. What other fun names? Aysel. Aysel.
Aysel. I don't hate that one.
Let's see what else we got here. Neoma. Neoma. That's Greek for new moon.
Enioma, I think, would be closer for Shadow Realm, because the new moon is the moon where there is no.
Good call. Yeah. So let's pencil that in for Shadow.
Spell that.
Neoma.
Neoma. Neoma. All right, cool. And welcome. I see that we had someone else pop in, and then they disappeared, and that's fine. We love you, even though you were gone. Even though you're gone now, we still love you. You're awesome.
We hope you come back.
Yes, you made me sad. But any hoozles. We were working on the name for the moon.
We were. So for the Fae, we had either Aruna or
Acel.
Aruna. How are you pronouncing it?
Aruna.
So Aruna or ASL. I like both of those. The other one that just popped up here as well is Aydemir, Aydemir. That's Turkish
They're
for
all A's.
Yeah, that's Turkish for Iron Moon.
Aydamar.
EMIR.
Aydemir. Oh, Aydemir. Yeah.
Yep.
That's not bad. I don't hate that one.
So that's like I said. What did I say? Turkish for Iron Moon. Ooh, this one could be fun. It's called Iyar, Iyar. It's Babylonian for moonlight.
Iyar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'll stop for.
Yeah, we've got.
I have a name that I would like to use because of what it means.
Okay.
And it would be for a deity. Mazar, Maziar. It's protector of the moon.
Mazar. Okay.
So I like that idea for someone that would be protecting the moons, like something that is actually like a protector of the 6 moons.
Yeah. So let's do this. So I do like there being. So there was going to be life on this moon.
Yes, we did decide that there would be life on the moon, and it would be fairly active.
Fae life.
Definitely Fae life, because the Fae would be bleeding over to protect this gate.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah. And I guess because of the magical properties of this moon, it would be livable in some sense. I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna. I guess it has its own gravity or something.
Well, they do have their own gravity. We did decide that part because they are living creatures, and even a living creature has their own gravity, plus to affect the space-time continuum.
This is true. Yeah,
the wibbly wobbliness.
That's true.
You
That's
have
very
to.
true. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stop with names there.
Yeah.
If anybody does want to use the method of what we're doing right now for naming, all I've done is gone into Google and I've typed in a specific word and asked for baby names.
Oh, you went with baby names.
I went with baby names. So that's what's popping up.
What I did when I was coming up with names was I would go into Google Translate.
I was doing that.
I typed the word and then just went to some various languages, and as long as the word was Anglicanized in the letters, it was a valid option for me.
Okay.
And then I based it whether I liked it or not.
Yeah.
So
I like using baby names strictly because it's not something that has been usually copywritten in a way, so they are very open names that you can use. And if ever it gets to a point where you're sitting there and you're going through names and you're like, I don't like that, you can take multiple names and merge them to make something bigger. And as well, by doing that, not only does it give you a specialty name, it also tells you where the name comes from and the origin of the name, so that you can look at the name and think that you can kind of link them together ish. That's just how it's fun to do for me.
That's where, even by just translating a name into a word or a phrase into a name, it can't be copywritten.
True. That's true.
Because it's just a word translation. Try and copyright guacamole as a word.
I mean, you can try. You can always try.
Like, it's not a viable thing for people to do. So, I do think I like both methods. I love your baby name method because it gives you a little bit of that deeper understanding.
A little bit, yeah. And usually they give you like 100 names too.
Yeah, usually they can come up with a pretty good, solid chunk.
Good list.
Mm-hmm.
So we currently have four names for our Fey Moon.
Yes.
Would you like to roll a D4?
What? Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet. Because what I think we should do is start our Fey conversation on the moon.
Okay.
And because we know it connects to the overall Fey Wild.
Correct.
I think starting on the moon is our unique identifier.
This is true. So, okay, so taking my idea and backtracking it instead of being in the Fey, started on the moon instead.
Correct.
And then bleed it over.
Correct. We're just one of the portals that you can get to from the Fey. And the DM can create what's on the other side in their Fey Wild.
That's true, yeah. Because then you essentially your portal could open up anywhere.
Correct.
Okay, I like that.
It could open up in the Summer Court.
I was about to say that could make for a lot of mischief.
Right? It could open up in the Summer Court or the Winter Court, or that's what we can dictate.
What?
The fucking where the gate for the Fae comes out.
And that can be based on where the moon is positioned.
What season the moon's in.
Yeah. I like it. I like that a lot. Actually, really like that. Even better, Maziar is an Eladrin goddess. Yeah.
And whatever mood she is in, spring, summer, winter, fall,
is where the gate will open.
Is where the gate goes.
Okay. So Maziar would be on our planet, would be on our moon.
Our moon.
Okay. I like that.
I like that. I like it. I like it. I like it. I do.
I do actually
really
like that.
do.
I really do like that. That drives with me.
Faye. I said goddess.
I'm okay with goddess. Maziar definitely sounds like a...
Maziar is a feminine sounding name.
It is. It is a feminine sounding name.
But I'm trying to figure out... Because it is Pride, so...
Yes, it is.
Yay, Pride Month.
Yeah.
Should they be gender fluid? Should they be non-binary?
Okay, here's
they're Eladrin.
Here's a fun take on it. Let's do it this way. You would have summer and spring, female. Winter, fall, male. So changes based on the seasons. I
do like the fact that changing on the season. That was going to be my I had just said, what if we did gender fluid where they changed, but I think it's based on their season.
Yeah.
So it is, I'm going to put it as they, any. I think that is the most appropriate.
I think they all.
So they, any's, if we do have anyone who knows more, please let us know.
Yeah. Correct us.
But correct us if we're wrong, but usually, as I understand, it's based on how they feel.
Correct.
Kinda in the moment. I'm not a member of that community, so I'm not sure. But that's my understanding.
I believe so. Like, I have a couple friends that are of that stature, and I've had a couple rough conversations. I do believe you're right with that. Again, if we are misspoken, please correct us. We want to be as on par as we can be.
But in that case, but just do keep in mind, guys, we are talking about a creature who changes every
Couple months.
when they are an Eladrin.
Yeah.
So when they change their season, they change their gender identity.
Yep.
So it's not. So even if the reality isn't that, for this entity, it is very much in that way based upon their assigned season for the moment.
Yes.
So if they jump from winter into spring, their gender would change.
Yeah. Which makes it really, really fun for if you have adventures coming through and exploring N1 season, going back to Unity to handle situations, and then coming back at a different season. I will fix that little border for you there. There we go.
That's going to be fall, winter. I'm going to start with spring.
I mean, spring
summer. Well, no, I was trying to figure out where in the year to start, and I was starting with male for some reason. Probably because I'm handling intersexism or some shit. I don't know. Call me out, people. I don't know. Spring, summer, female. Winter, falls, male.
You could even have it rotate so that you have spring.
I thought about that, but I do like
having like two back-to-backs and then two back-to-backs.
Yeah. Only because I think it fits the identity for themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because springtime growth, you've got that real like Tafiti from Moana.
Yeah, you have the nurturing,
the growth, all of that, and then the more masculine would be. A lot of people think of the more warlike, the more harsh environment of things dying.
Well, even when you think of winter, the most commonly referred term for winter is winter's father or father's winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it jives with me.
It definitely jives. I do agree.
Yep.
So, and then the gate to the Feywild.
Yep.
I'm gonna call it the actual Feywild because that's where it's gonna go.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna go.
Changes based on the whim. On Maziar's
the lunar alignment.
No, it's on Maziar's
but they're changing based on the seasonal change of the moon.
Typically.
But
if the DM decides that this person can change season on a whim, this is just fluid enough. This is just fluid enough that if the DM changes the season of Maziar, the gate changes season 2. So it still follows the rule, and under normal circumstances, without adventurers fucking them over.
I mean, yeah.
Maziar only changes with the seasons.
Okay.
But when adventurers get involved in the mix, you know as well as I do, Chris. Sometimes
nothing stays normal.
Sometimes you just need Maziar's winter barbarian form
to come through,
to show up
in
the middle of summer.
Especially if you have, adventurers moving moons,
right?
Because you're gonna have adventurers doing stupid things.
Wish spells are dumb.
So are gravity spells.
We don't even want to start on gravity spells yet, bro. Remember the gravity on this fucking world.
I know, that's what I mean. Like gravity spells are woo.
I was gonna say doubly, but like quadruply so on this fucker.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like gravity spells on our on Unity are literally going to be the most powerful spells.
Nuts.
They're gonna be the most powerful spells, mainly because we're gonna homebrew the shit out of them.
They're gonna be fucking all kinds of fucked. Like anyone doing magic on this fucking plane will fuck something up at 8th and 9th levels. Like,
oh yeah, bud, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for it.
Right.
So excited for it.
Like all kinds of screwed up. But
city?
I do like where we're at with that so far.
I do too. Do we want to have a fully structured city on this moon?
Centered around the gate, I think there should be something.
I think there should be something to maybe a temple.
My first thought is called Maziar's Fortress.
Okay. Ooh. No, we already kind of did that. I was going to say a labyrinth, but we've already kind of had the labyrinth down in the abyss, and I don't want to kind of duplicate ideas.
I think this would just be...
just a fortress.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Literally, like...
I have a fun idea. Have you watched the Alien vs. Predator movies?
Which one?
The Alien vs. Predator.
The first one? The first one in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's kind of the one scene where they're showing like the past version of the temple when it was actually above ground and not, down underneath Antarctica, and they have the three predators up on top of the pyramid, and there's all the aliens coming up. I was thinking the idea of having the gate literally at the top of a fortress pyramid structure, and that's where it sits in order to get the maximum magical capabilities when it's in alignment. So almost like a Stargate concept where like there's the main gate right up at the top. I think that would be
at the top of a Mayan-styled pyramid.
Yeah.
I'm saying Mayan because they have the flat top.
Yes, they do.
And we don't want Egyptian, which is straight up point, because you can't have a thing at the top.
Yeah, it'd definitely be like a Mayan Aztec style pyramid where you do have like the top of the pyramid chopped off.
Hang on, let me check what a ziggurat looks like real quick. I think a ziggurat looks cooler. I'm checking.
Ziggurat is based off of, I think, Aztec.
It's a parallel design similar to Aztec and Mayan. Ziggurats were Mesopotamian.
Yeah, I just looked that up.
So they were parallel. They weren't based on because no one knew.
Yeah.
According to what we understand about history, for all y'all conspiracy theorists out there.
I'm not against the idea of a ziggurat style because from what I'm seeing here, I like the concept that it is almost like a fortress.
However, look up a Mayan ziggurat.
Mayan?
Yeah, that's the structure style that they use.
Yeah,
I almost like Mayan better
because that's literally just a straight pyramid, top cut off of it, and stairs going up on all four sides.
Yeah,
that's not bad. The base ziggurat one that I did look up is, let's see here, what's it calling it? Britannia? It's kind of like a fortress style, so you do have your four walls, flat top, and then a staircase that leads straight up the center, and then two staircases up the side, but off the very front. So your only main access point is the front of the ziggurat of the structure. So you won't be able to gain access from the back or the sides because it's sheer walls.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of the artist's impression of the ziggurat of Ur.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Here, I can do this, and I will pull that. No, it's not going to do that for me? Okay, never mind.
I like how our Fae is Mesopotamia now.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
Yeah. So let's go.
Anubis lives in the Fae. It's fine.
Yeah, he's cool there. He can drive there. So I like the idea of this one. I'm going to save this image and then send it to you, and we can kind of hash it out. Because this is, let's see here, copy link. And I'll send it to you after the fact. But that seems to be my idea, because I don't want it to be completely accessible on all sides, because that makes it too easy to get to. I like the idea of it being protected, and I like the idea of, in case of outside interference, so if the Fae decides to bleed over into Unity, there's a way of preventing it and protecting it. So there would almost be like, if the Fae does start to overwhelm on the Fae side and break in, then maybe the ziggurat itself has a self-destruct where it literally collapses in on itself and into the moon.
Or it explodes the moon.
Or it wakes up the dragon.
Because you could have it be attached to a spinal tap, and that's why the moon hasn't hatched.
And that's why it has so much power.
Right? That would explain it. So in Discord, I sent you a picture of the one I was looking at. I don't know if it's the same one you were looking at.
Let's have a peek here.
But I found it on worldhistory.org. It's an artist impression of the Ziggurat of Ur from the game called Old World.
That's exactly what I'm looking at.
That's the same picture?
Yeah, kind of the same picture. The only difference is, instead of having the 3-tier to it, the one I'm looking at is a single tier. So it's got the same front structure of the stairs going up the front, and then the 2 stairs coming up and then meeting at a single focal point, and then the main structure across the top. I do like the one that you sent me more, because it has more of a city built-in idea. So you'd have the main gate at the top, and then the 2 structures down below would essentially be the dwellings, the city where
filters to get it up. Yeah,
exactly. And then the rest of it is just a fortress to prevent people from getting in or getting out.
So I just attached it into our Dumo Flopper.
Ooh, very nice. I will scroll down so people can see what it is that we're talking about. So yeah, that's the idea of what we are discussing right now in our notes in the center of our Twitch stream. And that shows the pyramid structure style. So that definitely is the idea, that the envisionment that I have for this now, city.
The image was created by Mohawk Games. So I want to be very clear, because it's probably a copyrighted image. It was used in the game Old World. It was used in the game Old World.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there for clarity of legality purposes. This is not
ours.
Not ours.
We're just using the concept and idea for
it's concept art.
Concept art, yes. So that when we go to make it ourselves, we can kind of build off this core idea. It's called sharing.
It's called D&D.
Oh, that too. TTRPG.
It's called TTRPGs. That's exactly what we do. We find things we like, we use them, we manipulate them into our own thing, and then we move on with our life.
Precisely. So,
Maziar's Fortress is a metropolis.
Yes.
I really do think it would be metropolitan in with the fortress at the middle.
Yeah. I would even so much as say as the entire metropolis is the fortress. Like everything resides solely within the fortress itself.
Farmland and stuff, I think, is the reason why I'm thinking like there would be some down on the bottom,
No, because even if you look at the image, even if you look at the image that you have that you sent there, they have almost farmland like greenery on the top of it.
I'm seeing this housing like 10 million people.
That's a big ass moon.
I said metropolis, and that's why I was like, it's a populous moon. Okay. This is the center of civilization on the moon.
Okay, so here's my go-to for you. We have a link to the Fae. Their food supply is coming from the Fae.
We could do that.
So the reason why Maziar changes genders and changes locations of the gates is to pull resource from each section of the Fae.
From the Eladrin of the Fae.
Yeah.
Of the Feywild.
Because realistically, it would be very hard to grow crops on an area such as this.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying... so I think the city would be... I'm going to say about 95% built into the...
Into the moon.
Into the fortress.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
To give you a little bit of that, to give a DM a little bit of wiggle room that the city could have some buildings down below and inns and travelers, like adventurers stuff.
There would definitely be stuff down there, but the actual core of the city would be in the fortress. Mm-hmm. So like you would probably have even small villages that have branched out from the fortress around the moon.
Correct.
Like almost like tribes, essentially, like so
I'm gonna put mostly tribes. Nomadic,
that's the word I was looking for.
Nomadic tribes and expeditionary forces.
Yeah, because even in nomadic tribes, you would probably have people that would disagree with how the fortress is being run.
Correct.
Because
they would not believe Maziar has the best interest of the moon in mind.
Yeah, because you would almost have... I love that idea. Branching a little bit out from that is the nomadic tribes would be solely people who are in... Like, they love the moon. The idea, like, the moon is their... They worship the moon? Like, they would feel like there's a deity within the moon, and Maziar is keeping that trapped.
And are astral elves.
Oh my god, so astral elves, yes.
These are astral elves. They've evolved. They're Eladrin, who've been around so long.
In the cosmos.
The cosmos. They worship the moon itself, which is an astral entity.
It is, yeah.
And therein are, because they worship the moon is their god.
Yeah.
Their god or goddess. And therefore changed their entire physiology.
Yeah.
To become astral elves.
And because they're Eladrin, they do have that capability within them in order to change their...
To change, evolve, and have manipulable, malleable genetic code.
Oh my god, they're gremlins.
I mean, don't let them worship the plane of fire.
And that's how fire elementals are made.
No. Ganassi.
Oh. Ooh.
Ganassi are just a Eladrin who got stuck on other planes.
Oh my god. Yes. Yes.
Guys, we are rewriting all lore here.
All the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck yeah. I like that.
An Eladrin who got caught on another plane of existence and now worships of choice or by force.
I was going to say banishment.
It doesn't matter. By force or by choice. It doesn't matter. If you now worship the god of the earth,
You become an Earth
Your
Genasi.
genetic code gets changed. Now there are Jinn and stuff who do produce Genasi that way.
Yeah,
but there would be two varieties of your Genasi.
Yeah, because you would have your natural Genasi.
Your true Genasi.
Yeah, and then you would have your... Okay, let's think of a different term for this.
But they're your Genasi elves.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, realistically that... Woo! I like it.
Ugh. Jeez, that's a lot of shit.
That is a lot of shit. That's a lot of unpacking right there.
That's... I don't know. We were ready for that trip.
I mean,
I was not packed appropriately for going to California yet, bro.
Every time I sit down in this chair, I never know what's gonna happen when we start talking,
don't.
And it's just so. Oh, the way our little brains work when they're linked through the internet.
Right? Jeez.
Okay, so let's. We're gonna have to start a whole new thread here of species.
Yeah, I think after we finish the Fae, we're gonna have to sit down in a session and reorganize
some notes.
Our notes.
I think so. We're gonna have to do some pages.
We're gonna have to get that structured for our own records.
For our own records, and for if we ever decide to have a guest.
Them too.
Because if we ever bring in a guest, they're gonna need to know what we've done.
They're gonna be like, "The fuck are we working on?"
We don't know.
That's the sum of this entire show. What are we doing? I don't know.
I don't know. What do you want to do tonight?
What do you want to do tonight, Pinky?
Take over the brain. Take over the brain.
Take over the brain.
Oh shit! This is what happens when Chris has coffee.
Coffee. Okay.
Woo.
Population 10
million, not billion. Please God, not 10 billion.
I said mil.
I know I said billion. And I retract
$10 million. $10?
$10.
That's a cheap ass fucking moon, and I'm not buying that. There's something wrong with that moon.
That's the shadow moon. Shadow moon's only 10 gold.
The gate. There is powered by a. I'm gonna put it as a spinal tap.
I mean, realistically, yeah. Do you want to call it a spinal tap or a brain tap?
I'm saying spinal, like quotation marks spinal.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the exact
anatomy
thing being tapped in, because we're not sure what this moon is. What type of dragon this moon is.
Well, we know it's a combination.
We know it's a celestial.
Well, we know it's a celestial, and we know it's a combination of a sun dragon and an astral. So,
but astral, I would even argue, would be the source of all all celestial dragon kind.
Correct.
And therefore, you don't know what you're getting.
Oh, so you think that astral is essentially a roll of the dice species dragon?
I think it makes the Punnett squares impossible to calculate.
Okay. So, do we want to do a roll and see what type of dragon pops out?
Nope.
So that no, you don't want to know.
Nope. We'll let the DMs do that when they hatch these eggs as a cataclysm in their world.
Ooh, that's true. That's true.
So we'll build the chart.
Yeah, we're gonna have to build a chart for that. So that you do, because like we're probably gonna have to come up with some other species of dragons outside of your traditional 3 genres.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them already in other books.
There are.
Like, I know there's river dragons, volcano dragons, there's all those nature dragons.
Yeah.
Someone just released a book on floral dragons.
Ooh, actually, there's a content creator, Scarlett, and
she's doing dessert dragons. I know.
Right?
I love her content, and her content is fucking fantastic.
Good. So good. I will message her and ask her if we can borrow and use her dessert dragons in our world for.
No. Invite her on for an hour and a half so we can figure out how they fit into our world and do it that way.
You know what? I will reach out and we'll see if that works, because I think that would be fun as hell.
That would be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Our Discord is going to be fucking full of so many good creators. So many creators.
And if you want to be one of those people who joins the Discord, Eric, what Discord is it and where can they find it?
Hang on.
I love throwing you on the spot. It's so much fun. I'm sorry.
All right, so
it's one of those sorry not sorries.
Copy. The link is in
chat,
our Twitch chat, and it will be there for 7 days until it and this episode go away anyway.
Yep. But we will post it on every episode so that if you want to be a part of the Discord chat and come join us in all the crazy shenanigans.
A different link will be posted.
A different
link. The one
yes.
I did was only a 7-day link.
Oh, okay.
That way we know where it came from, because I can look and see who used what link to join in.
And this is why you're our social media guy.
Our social media has been a little quiet lately, but that's because we have been trying to figure out what to post, and we're mostly just tagging it if we're talking about it lately.
Yeah. And hopefully I get a little more together on my social media stuff for our show, because I've been lacking.
Also, that we don't have money to pay for like a clipper doodah dude.
No, but I've found a more mediocre way of doing it. Just takes time.
Yeah.
Time. That's
time
okay.
is the devil. Time is the devil that belongs in hell, but actually isn't in hell. He's in the tower. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's in the tavern.
Is it he or is it a they? I'm trying to remember now.
For that, let's have a peek here.
Zaxxan is a they.
Zaxxan, that's right.
Zaxxan, I apologize for misgendering you. We will forget because we created you, and therefore you're at our whim anyway. But we're sorry, Zaxxan.
Yep. I mean, kind of.
We are sorry. City would be 95% built into the fortress, population of 10 million, mostly nomadic tribes and expeditionary bases on the moon itself, because I could see the city sending forces out into the wilds of this moon.
Yeah.
Because of the various creatures, and like centaurs would not be comfortable in the city. This would be the Eladrin base.
Yeah, it would be very Eladrin based, and you would have bleed out from the gate with things coming through. And it would be up to Mazir to decide whether things are allowed to venture in or venture out. Almost, I feel like there would almost be like a border crossing fee.
Are we going back to our soul exchange?
No, not soul exchange. More so in the sense of like, if you would like to leave the Fae and come and live on this moon, which we still have not picked the name of, we have 4 choices at the moment. You would have to almost have like a passport to come and leave the Fae and come explore the moon and live here.
See, I'm not sure, because I like the idea that this moon is not all Eladrin. Like, I like the idea that it would be very free to just come and go through the gate, because it's just an open gate.
True.
So, like, centaurs and satyrs and all of them, they can come through. It's not a problem. Anything from the Feywild is free to come over and come and go as they want.
But
visit their friends, relatives,
you don't
neighbors.
feel like it would be recorded. I feel like to have something like that, there would be some form of, like, the Fae are very chaotic in the sense of their nature, but at the same time, they wouldn't want to. I guess maybe they would. Maybe they would just want to have everything completely bleed over and then slowly start
They
shooting.
want to
down
take over the
Unity.
plane,
They would, yeah.
is what I would see, right? They want to take over the plane now that they have access.
True. Now, going back to our initial Fae build, when we talked about the power struggle and the power creation and how levels of power are, we had talked that it was based on deals being made.
Yeah, it was pyramid scheme based on your Fae deal.
Ziggurat.
No, it's not ironic.
No?
No.
Coincidence?
So, no. That was purely intentional on my part.
Oh.
By going ziggurat specifically and not like pyramid. Because a ziggurat has clearly defined levels.
Oh, no, I was just making a joke about the idea of like pyramid scheme style power leveling and then having that structure for the house of it.
For the building itself, yeah.
That's all I meant. Just a little snippet.
Oh, yeah. That tracks.
So, in what level of power?
It's how they determine determine where you're housed.
What level of the structure you're housed in? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the lesser power is at the bottom, the higher power is at the top.
And if you're 0, you are not allowed to live in the city. You're allowed through the gate. That's not a problem.
True. Yeah. You just get
But you're not allowed to live in the city.
Tribes. Or like the small little like
expeditionary
village
force type stuff.
Yeah, expeditionary forces, or like the small mundane villages on the outskirts.
Or annexes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Where you live in the city, if even in the city.
Yeah.
But the whole city is named Maziar's Fortress.
Yes. And then you'd probably have small names, like there'd probably be a sub name for whatever is outside of the fortress itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be like the Maziar's Fortress in the kingdom of
well, it'd be whatever the
Centauri.
Well, it'd be
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing a name out there, right? Like of Alferis. Like in the kingdom of Alferis, Maziar's Fortress is where you want to live.
Yeah. I am liking the name of Ire the most for this moon.
ER.
Yeah.
I am liking ER the best as well. The more I'm saying Maziar, I like ER. Because it has that, like, Maziar is so self-important. He's so self-important.
That he named the moon after... They named the moon after themselves.
We're creating gods here, guys. We're not going to remember their genders right offhand. We are sorry. We are not trying to misgender or misname.
Hell, half the time when I pronounce Unity, I call it the material plane.
Yeah. But we've also got that written in slash on purpose.
Oh, we do.
We do. We wrote it in slashing on purpose because the colloquial is material.
Yeah.
But we're calling it Unity, and we don't know that we have a full proper noun name like Venus or Earth type of deal.
I still like Unity. It's just Unity.
I do too. But I don't want to limit us yet.
No.
Because we don't know what the people are going to call it.
That's true, because there's the name of what it's given from the astral, and then there's going to be the name of what the residents of the planet call it.
Yeah, right. Like, because the dragon itself has a name.
Which we haven't found out yet.
So technically, the Celestial would call it the name of the dragon.
That will probably be what the name of the planet is.
That's the true name. That's the onomantic name.
The true name.
But
and then the name that. Yeah, go ahead.
So the And then the elementals, fire, earth, water, air, shadow, fae, that kind of stuff, would call it unity because that's where the 6 of them
Collide.
unite.
Yeah, unite, sorry, not collide.
And so there would be like
collide.
17 different names intentionally.
Now, here's a fun thing. Because it's named Unity, the idea is that everything collides and combines in this one location, correct?
On the elemental
On the
level,
elementals.
yes.
So, if you had the name of the gravimetric dragon, I had to make a little giggle. Whatever its name is, the other entities, say the elementals, they would almost pull a name derived from the initial name. It would almost be like a derivative of the initial name. So almost like a play on words.
Unless they just called everywhere that the elemental planes joined as just one phrase, which would be the elemental word, the primordial word for unity.
Let's have a little peek.
Because they would call it whatever they're used to calling it, because this is a new plane for them. They're older than Unity.
That's true.
Because all the gravimetric dragon did was lay down, press down into their plane, allow them to infiltrate the material.
You're gonna like this.
What?
Henosis.
For one of the names of Unity?
Yeah. It's essentially primordial unity. Henosis.
Spell that.
Henosis.
Henosis. Henosis.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that is the primordial name.
Yeah, that's primordial for unity.
Yep. So right now, this plane has a couple of different names, which is fine. I like the idea that the planet has multiple names because Earth itself
has multiple names.
Has had several names through history.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like Terra.
Yeah, which is just another term for Earth.
It is just another term for Earth, but it's because that's what they could pick up and hold, right? Like,
yes,
Terra. So
that's also why they started calling it terraforming.
Right. When you modify the Earth to match your will because anyone else can eat shit.
Exactly.
I mean, who was there first? No flag, no country.
We're not having that argument. Oh, Jesus. Alrighty. Oh, that's been some pretty solid building, my friend.
So far, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Alrighty.
So we will pick back up on the Fae next week because I want to finish fleshing out Fae.
Yeah,
because I feel like we're incomplete still in the Fae.
I do feel like there's still a little bit more that we can tap into with the Fae, especially with the surrounding areas, the effect of the moon on the residence itself, the essentially the social structure of the actual city itself, like the fortress.
Yes.
I would like to dive a little bit deeper into that since we are starting now to dive into social structures within core areas, within the planes themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we still, like, after doing the Fae this deep, we'll probably have to go back into the other 4 elements and give it that a little bit more structure as well.
I think after we do Fae, we should go Shadow.
Yeah. Shadow's going to be a hard one because we essentially wrote down that it's not inhabitable.
No, the moon itself is not inhabitable.
Well, the shadow plane.
The plane.
Yes.
Because the moon is, by uninhabitable, even we said, like...
Dead things can still be there.
Dead things can live there.
Yeah.
And that's what we said is there. Kind of thing.
Oh my god.
We've already said liches and shit live there.
I just... My broken mind just pictured a lich standing there being bored out of his ass, grabs a zombie and goes, let's see how far I can throw you, and launches it down to Unity. You just have zombie bombs coming down.
Those are what combats are, bro.
Zombie combats?
Zombits?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
And it just happens once every couple seasons. You know, the liches on the shadow plane start to play a game. How many
ring toss with skeleton ribs?
Skeletons. Let's see if we can get it into the fire plane volcano.
You four, hold hands. 10 points if it lands in the volcano.
Field goal! Oh, that'd be so bad.
Oh shit, he's still alive.
That brings a
Hey,
whole...
you! Conquer the world now.
That brings a whole nother meaning to, like, the parade of death.
Uh-huh. Random skulls dropping from the sky. The season of skulls is gonna be a fucking parade now.
Oh my goodness, it would be.
It would.
Yeah.
If there was a city that got skulls every once a year, every year,
every couple of years,
or every
yeah.
5 years, right?
They're just
as long as they didn't change and they could create a thing around it,
they would start worshiping that moon.
Mm-hmm.
So that moon would come around into their orbit so that they can see it from Unity, and then all of a sudden there's just start.
It's like they freaking use the undead trebuchets and just think.
That's so bad, yet so funny.
I love that festival now.
We're okay. So I'm gonna scroll up to the top of our page, and that is gonna be our to-do list.
Festival of Skulls.
Questions to be answered. What is the Festival of Skulls?
Yes. So why did we cut it a half an hour off of our talks?
Because I'm a sleep-deprived asshole.
I know that. It's just like we could keep going.
Oh, I know, buddy. We could go for hours. We
Right?
could literally sit here and do this for hours if we really, really wanted to.
We could hop on one day and just talk for 12 hours straight. And
I mean, one day, I think we should do it one day if we can both get permission from our spouses, because that's a
not
thing.
happening.
No. And just do like a solid 6-hour Saturday stream.
Right.
Because that's the only
6
way
hours. I could get 6 hours. Don't worry about me with 6 hours. I can do 6.
I would have to do a little bit of pleading and deal making. I would have to make a deal.
Be careful with the deal you make. It may make but it might make your soul worth more. So I mean, it's up to you.
I could be worth something. Ooh.
Do you think you're only worth 1,000 gold, or do you think you're worth more than that? If so, go make a deal.
That's a.
Go make a deal with your Fae Queen, and we'll figure the semantics out.
We'll figure it out another day.
Right.
But we got a few minutes left on our stream. Are there any tips, tricks, or advice that you would like to give to our viewers and listeners?
Yeah. So, have fun. Have fun. It's a game. Help your DM build the world. Don't be afraid. I'm not a big fan of the DM is God concept when it comes to world building.
No.
When it comes to being the arbiter of the rules, yes, if the DM says so, that's the call.
Yep.
But then you can have a conversation with him out of game and figure out the future.
I was going to make that comment, being like, if you do have a dispute with your game master or player depending on how you want to go about it. Don't do it at the table.
But for DMs, leave your world free. Do not create every iota, every blade of grass, every ant in the anthill.
You can if you want to, but we don't recommend it. You can,
but that anthill better be the most important anthill on the planet.
Yeah. Because be ready for your players to burn it down.
Yes.
Because they will. They'll probably use magma.
100 miles by 150 miles. So the stuff I'm creating might be 100 miles apart, but there's a lot that can fit in 100 miles.
I actually did have one person ask me a very good question, and it was in regards to fudging dice rolls.
I don't.
Neither do I. Now, their question to me is there ever a good time to lie about your dice rolls? And in my personal opinion, I think no. You should never lie about a dice roll. If there is a moment in your game where you feel like you have to lie about a dice roll in order to progress a story, that roll should never have happened. That should be something that you, as a DM, are either saying, expressing, or showing. It shouldn't be a dice roll. Unless you expect it to fail or succeed. If you have options for both failure and succeeding, it's okay to make it a dice roll. If it has to succeed, it should not be a dice roll. If it has to fail, it should not be a dice roll.
And then if they do crit fail and that wasn't an expected outcome you had, just give them advantage for no reason at all.
Yeah. And if they crit fail again,
double fail,
it deserves
you can erase that. Or you can either erase it. That is a valid erasure, because if that crit fail would cause a character to die, the same game they're introduced, that character hasn't lived a full life. I would honestly it would be one of the rare instances where I've tried everything I can. I would bring the hand of God down and back time up a few seconds, or I would use some kind of a narrative thing.
Yes, but again, that comes down to
erase the fact they rolled badly.
You're not lying about the dice.
Yeah, I'm not lying about the dice. I'm letting the dice still tell the story, because I will tell you, every single dice in here has a story to tell.
Precisely.
And I'm going to let them tell their story.
Yeah.
Even if that kills your player.
100%. Even if it kills my NPC.
PvP might be a place I would, but that's one of those where it's like, I also would just not let PvP in that case.
No,
PvP you have to be very, very careful with.
You do, because you need to trust your players with PvP.
Uh-huh.
PvP should never happen. Well, maybe never happen. It shouldn't happen.
It should happen carefully.
It should happen carefully, and it should have a narrative purpose. If your players just want to fight with each other because they're just fighting with each other, pause the game and have a discussion as to why this is happening. Because realistically,
and if it's validating character things, let them fight it out for a minute, but have the cleric on standby to heal somebody.
Yeah, like have a backup.
Don't let death rolls be there. No. Let them just go unconscious, rest for 8 hours, come back with hit points, and be done.
Don't let the party member wants to PvP.
Yeah, unless your character has walked into this fight knowing he might die, because he's the rogue. He's been stealing from the party. The party's all pissed off at him.
Again,
and then he decides to pick a fight. As a DM, you should try and avoid those situations.
Have a conversation
by talking
with
to the player.
Yeah.
Because my character could do a concept, you want to avoid some toxic versions of that.
Yeah.
There are good ways to do, that's what my character would do. But learning the difference. And there's a lot of people out there all over YouTube who talk about the difference in that's what my character would do. And I know that Matt Colville is very good over at MCDM, he has a very good video on that's what my character would do mentality. We would recommend you honestly listen to his entire thing on playing the game.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Is it playing the game?
I think
no, running the game. Running the game. Because he has an entire thing over there about how to run a very effective table on a mechanical level.
Yeah.
So I would recommend 100% go watch his stuff on that.
But going
Absolutely.
back to the dice fudging,
really no need.
Avoid it if you can. You really don't need to.
You really don't need to just create a narrative way that something else happens to fix the problem or whatever.
Precisely. But that was the question I got given. So
it's a good question.
It was a good question. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I know that happens to a lot of people. And one of the other things that kind of went along with that same question is, well, what happens if my dice are rolling too hot that game? What if I'm rolling too many d20s and I'm killing players? Well, roll it in front of the table. Show the dice that you're rolling so that your players get more of a dramatic feel for what's happening. There is nothing more dramatic to a player than being told, okay, I just knocked you unconscious with a nat 20. I'm now going to roll to show you what's going to happen next. Everybody will be at the edge of their seat. Everybody will be waiting to see what that dice rolls. Whereas if you roll it behind the table, it's not as dramatic. There's not as much emotion behind it. So getting that emotion, getting that pump feeling that's what you're looking for. That's what you want.
And that leads into a question I think we should save for next week, but I will pose the question to you now so we can think about it over the next week. And that is hidden rolls versus in front of the table rolls and how we do that. We'll save that for next week.
I will write it down right now.
Rolls. Because hidden rolls is going to be... That's a thought. Because I know what I do. So.
Well, I didn't even write that down. I wrote it down as rolls, as in... Not... Yeah.
Wrong spelling.
Yeah, as in, what role are you playing today? Compared to, which dice are you rolling today?
Right.
Anyways, my friends.
There's all kinds of fun topics on that one. We could tell a dozen stories, but we'll talk about that next time when we fire up the World Forge. But for now, guys, we are closing this bitch down, and we hope you guys have a fantastic evening.
We love you. We miss you. We'll see you next Monday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yep.